Hi. Yes! Yes! We did it! Welcome, everybody, to the Renegade Realm Podcast, episode 131,274. Now, 131 episodes of the podcast. It's wild. It's wild. You know, I actually missed the anniversary. Three-year anniversary was this December, and I just completely neglected it because I was like, F the show. I don't care anymore. F everyone. F happiness. And here we are. It's been quite a journey. We do need to do a
3 years. That's a long
years.
time, man.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. What else is nuts? Shout out to everyone in chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. Shout out to Lotus Esprit and Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat. Lotus Esprit gifted 5 channel memberships. That is so effing nice. To none other than Grandpa Barbecue Game, Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat, Frog Thought, Lotus Esprit to themselves, sure, okay, DeMarco, and Game Live Studio. Thank you so much for doing that. Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat gifted a membership to Chris 7173. Thank you guys so much for doing that. It is so nice of you to do that. It's wild. Shout out to everyone else who is joining us tonight. Game Adaptation Newscast, Frog Thought, Ion Storm, BT Maverick, Arcane, who is here sitting across from me. We're in the same room, actually. Let's see. Who else is here? Arrow Nation, thank you. So nice. These guys are, everyone is so nice. Forza Fable 2026. True 77, thank you. Thank you so much. I think that's oh, and K-Rock. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. Today, we have on a guest that is part of our Renegade Runners, I guess, as we're called. He's not necessarily a channel member, but it doesn't matter. We're part of the same community here. Arcane Realm, from the Arcane Realm YouTube channel and Twitter.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been a long time coming. How long has it been since you've been on?
I don't even know. It's the last time I was on was at some point last year. I think it must have been like early in 2025. 2025 was a bit of a chaotic year for me and for people who don't follow me. True 77, I see you. Thanks, bud.
He knows.
It's awesome to be back on here. I was able to take some time from work, away from the family, to sit down and be here. I've missed the podcast. I kind of engage periodically in the chat, but I've missed getting to chat with you in particular and getting to sit and just vibe with the community here, which, I mean, I think it goes without saying, you've got one of the best communities in the entirety of YouTube.
They're amazing, man. They're so fucking nice, man. Like, there is nothing. The thing is, like, because I'm part of the community too. It's not like we're leaders of communities. It's just that I am just as part of the chat right now as everyone else is whenever they join other people's podcast chats or whatever, the comment section or whatever. And there is no better feeling than having that sense of community with good-hearted people. It's so humbling. It never gets old. It is just like, I remember years ago when we had like 10 people in chat and I was like crying my eyes out because I couldn't believe it. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's you guys in chat are amazing. It's sincerely thank you for everything, because this is all for you. Web Dave, what's up? What's up, Red? Thank you. Hit the dang like button. He says, yes, hit the dang like button. Lotus Esprit says, make it rain. Yeah, sure, make it rain, baby. Frost is also in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Look, let's just jump right into shit, man. How are you? First of all, a lot of new subscribers to this channel, so tell people who you are, where you came from, your social security number, and your address.
Yeah, my credit card, the 3-digit security code on the back, the 5-digit zip code.
5, 2, 3,
Game Seeker with the $5 Canadian super chat. I can't do it. You got to do it. Yeah, I can't.
$5 super chat from Game Seeker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Game Seeker. The $5 Canadian says, "Welcome back, Arcane. Welcome."
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Seeker. Bro. God,
yeah,
speaking of amazing people. Yeah, go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. Okay, sorry.
Who are you? Where'd you come from?
That's my train of thought here. So I come from a planet called Earth. No, just kidding. So my name is Josh. I've been public about that before, otherwise known as the Arcane Realm. I have a YouTube channel focused almost entirely on Arcane Studios, so Deathloop, Dishonored, Prey, Redfall, the upcoming Blade game, which hopefully will be coming out in about another year or so, optimistically, if rumors are to be believed. And also Bethesda. I've started to kind of cover Bethesda a bit more widely, more broadly. I had a Fallout video a while ago. I actually have been posting content again. I've had a lot more free time to be able to work on content, and I'm still working on more behind the scenes, and I'm looking forward to getting that out. But yeah, so if you guys are interested in Bethesda, Arcane Studios, all of that stuff, definitely consider checking out my channel. And I just greatly appreciate Red having me on here to talk about games. And as far as what I've been up to, obviously working on content, like I mentioned. I've been trying to play a couple of games every once in a while. One game in particular that we're going to talk about today that I got a little itty-bitty taste of last night, and I have some thoughts on it. But
yeah,
the big one for me, finally, because I started the game in, I think, September or August. It was shortly before my my wife and daughter. We had a daughter that was born last year in August, and I started Clair Obscur Expedition 33 late last year.
Yeah.
And finally, Sunday night, I rolled credits on it. And I don't have the words to describe the emotional roller coaster that I went on. The ending of Act 1, not going to get into specifics here, but I kind of saw coming. I saw it coming, to be perfectly honest. It didn't entirely shock me. Act 2, on the other hand, bro, after that, I was shook. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Right. Yeah, same.
Like, and then when I finished the game, when I got to the final confrontation, you're given the final choice. I sat there for a good 5 to 10 minutes. I'm like, you can't make me decide. This is one of the most impossible decisions, because there's a valid argument for either one. And I was just blown away. Now, what kind of stinks is that, and I realized this after the fact, I looked it up, and I realized that I was in a hurry to kind of finish up the game, and I beelined it to the final boss and to the final act of the game.
I did too.
So I missed out on a whole bunch of side content in Act 3 that I need to go back and engage with, because based on the stuff that I've seen and I've read, like some of the side content you can engage with, there's a lot there that sort of expands on the ending of the game and like the big twist. Yeah. But yeah, man, like I knew, even before I finished Act 1, I knew I was playing a game that was really special. Now that I've rolled credits on it, I'm like, yeah, dude, this is one of the greatest fucking games ever made. Like, I had a feeling in my bones, like, I understood why it won all the awards it did, and why it's continuing to get all of this acclaim and praise, and just, dude, I could go on and on about it. I don't want to, but it was absolutely incredible, and I messaged him already, but I want to give a serious shout out to Assassin. I know he's not here right now. I know he's not watching, but he was the one who actually gifted me a copy of the game on Steam, and
that's awesome, man.
I probably would have never played it or experienced it had he not done that. And so, yeah, it was just one of the most incredible gaming experiences I've ever had. I mean, the story, oh my god, it's one of the most well-written stories, not just in a video game, just in general, that I have experienced in the past couple of years.
One of the things about it that I'll say about Expedition 33 story is that whenever you look at it from like a top-down view, like all-encompassing everything that's going on, it's really confusing. But somehow they made it so cohesive and easy to follow and understand in a way that doesn't make you feel like a child being like having their hand held. It's like every time that there's like this big exposition of dialogue, it's delivered in such a way that's like short and sweet and very to the point. And then at the end of each of those, major cutscenes, it sort of gives you like, and now there's something else you don't know. And you're like, what else? And so you just want to keep playing. You're like, man, what the fuck just happened?
It's so
good,
expertly, it's so expertly crafted and so expertly paced. It's one of the most well-paced games I've ever played. And the fact that the woman who wrote this game worked in finance, never had any writing experience prior to this, it just like the story behind how this game was made is absolutely incredible. It's a once in a generation thing.
Yeah.
But I think, just to cap it off, one of the things that I really appreciated the most about the narrative in Expedition 33, and something that I'm hoping we see a lot more from stories, whether that's TV shows, books, games, movies, etc., moving forward, is genuine sincerity, genuine stakes. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is it's a story that, like, yeah, there's like funny haha chuckle moments every once in a while, but it by and large takes itself very seriously, and by the end, when you realize what the full context is of what's going on, it just made me appreciate. I've always been a fan of like stories that sort of are a little bit darker and take themselves seriously, and it's not that I don't like a little bit of levity in my storylines, but I feel like, to make this comparison, ever since the MCU blew up, it seems like that has kind of infected everywhere else as far as like a writing style, and this is a great example that's probably relevant for you. Dragon Age the Veilguard has a lot of sort of like, yeah, I know. I won't take too long on this and waste your time, but it has a lot of like MCU quippy dialogue, and it's like it wasn't written from like a place of sincerity and soulfulness.
Yeah.
And you can feel that in Expedition 33. Like, every single line of dialogue is written with such care and love and respect. And yeah, and the performances too, dude. Like, honestly, I was big on Gustav at the beginning. Charlie Cox is huge. By the end of the game, the two characters that I thought their performances were absolutely incredible. Actually, no, three characters in particular. Jennifer English as Mael, who I totally get why she won the Best Performance Award. She was incredible. Ben Starr as Verso, and then Andy Serkis as Renoir. Bro,
can you believe
Andy
I didn't know
Serkis.
that? Can you believe I didn't know
that was him?
No,
Bro,
I found out the other day. Oh my god!
It's so funny because his character looks more like Pierce Brosnan.
He does. He looks just like Pierce Brosnan, dude. It's so
doesn't
funny.
he? Like,
yeah, he does.
But he was incredible, which is to be expected. I mean, come on, it's Andy Serkis we're talking about here. But yeah, I got to stop gushing about it. I'm still kind of sort of compiling my thoughts about the experience, and I'm probably going to go back at some point because they did have that update there. That they added after the Game Awards with like all of that side content and stuff. And on top of that, I missed a lot of side content in Act 3, so I'll go back to it at some point. But I just wanted to be able to say that I wrapped up the game. I have officially completed it, and I understand now what all the hype was about. But now it's like I can move on to the next game in my backlog, which is just never ending. So.
Right. Yep. I'm right there with. That's so good to hear, man. That is so good to hear. Expedition 33 is one of those games that I love it so much. I am taking time away from it because I want to remember as little as possible. And I have this habit of doing that with movies or TV shows, video games, whatever it might be. And that is the best way to redo things, not just jump right back in while it's fresh. I like to take my time away from it to sort of give myself as the heart grows fonder, as they say.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that is so good that you finally beat it, man. I never talk about what I've been playing. It's always the same shit. I funnily
Walker,
enough,
Starfield for the millionth time.
It's funny. It's funny because I think I talked about it last week. I wanted to play Skyrim. I'm like, because again, I've been watching Game of Thrones again, and we all know how modding works. We know that you can spend 10, 15 hours just getting your mod list in order, and then you finally get to play the game, and it's great. I'm at the first time in my life modding Skyrim. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. All I want to do is use Frostfall, I need survival mechanics, just a few like lighting mods, and like there's nothing insane about what I'm doing, and it's just not working, and it's so heartbreaking. So because of that, there aren't many games that allow you to like live in the world. I love games that you just pick it up, you don't need to do anything, right? So of course I was like, Starfield, got you. So I started off, and it has these incredible alternative start mods for Starfield. So you can start off as like a pedestrian. You have no money. You have to make money. You don't even have a ship. You have to make money to get a ship. So I started off on Neon, and it was like a cousin had given me a ship, but the ship needs repairs, and it was like 24,000 credits. So I had to start a new character and find a way to do odd jobs and make money, just trying to like scrape by, while also having to feed myself, having to pay for hotel rooms so I could sleep, and buy food to eat, and take care of any sort of afflictions that I might have come across during those times, to get the money to repair the ship that I was given. And it was like 3.5, 4 hours of doing that. And it's kind of like in like a Star Wars game. Like I think Star Wars Outlaws does this, where you play the game for a little bit. You don't have the world isn't open to you just yet. And then like hours later, you finally get your ship, and then you're able to like actually engage with the world as a whole. And that's how it felt. It was amazing. It was like I spent like 4.5 hours doing all these jobs for criminals and just doing stuff that I wasn't proud of in back alleys, you know what I mean? And finally, I finally did it, got my ship, and it's this like junker ship, and I'm just so proud of it. So proud of it. So anyway, that's what I've been playing, because, you know, I wanted to play Skyrim, but
I've had the itch recently, the itch that you just can't quite scratch, you know, in the nether regions. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And that's the Elder Scrolls. I still haven't played the Oblivion remaster. That's on my backlog. That's probably one of the games coming up here soon that I'm gonna jump into. I have a lot of Bethesda stuff I need to catch up on. I never finished Indiana Jones. I need to finish up Doom: The Dark Ages, like all of the side like collectibles and whatnot, and then Elder Scrolls. And honestly, yeah, like I get that itch every once in a while to jump back into Skyrim, because the last time I played, it's been probably at least 10 years since I played
Oh my
Skyrim.
God, brother.
It's been a long
That's
time.
nuts, man. That's nuts.
Yeah, I played it through on console. That was way before I had a PC capable of running it and modding the game and whatnot, and then like Fallout too. You know, I'm looking forward to the Fallout remaster, and I want to go back through Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4, and I've even thought periodically about like, should I jump into Fallout 76, just because I had such a sour my experience with the game was really soured, because I actually bought it at launch. I paid money for Fallout 76 at launch, and I slogged through the miserable experience that was launch vanilla Fallout 76. And it really soured my experience on it, to the point where even after all of the updates and the content and the amazing stuff they've added, I still have that thing in the back of my mind where it's like, I did not enjoy this. I tried so hard to enjoy it, and I don't know if jumping in now is going to make up for the time that I feel like I wasted all those years ago.
Well, it is an MMO, and I feel like it is one of those games that you can jump into at any time, even given like all the new updates and whatever else is going on, because it still starts you off. It's not locking you out of content like Destiny did, where it's like you can't, you have no context of the world. You can't access.
Don't even get me started on Destiny.
It pissed me off so bad.
That's a whole other saga.
Definitely
there, so.
give it. Do keep in mind though, there's no crossplay, unfortunately, which is ass.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
that's the one thing that I know they've spoken publicly about. Like, yeah, there's limitations in the engine, and there's stuff that we can't quite make work on our end to have that be available to the player base. There's got to be a way. There just has to be a way. Like, because honestly, you know, if I really think about, despite the fact that I had such a bad experience at launch with the game, that is probably the main reason why I haven't jumped in, because I'd love to be able to play with you, Holly. I know Colt Eastwood is in the chat right now. I know he plays. DeMarco started playing a little bit more frequently recently. I'd love to be able to play with you guys, but I know that you guys are on Xbox. DeMarco is basically the only other person who plays on PC. Right. And so, yeah, it's tough. And I think the more games that have crossplay, it's just better and more convenient for all of us to be able to play and experience these games with however many people we want.
Yeah, and hopefully they do address that in the future, because wow, what an L. BT Maverick says, let's see, Witcher 3, Starfield, Stalker 2, and repeat. Yes, exactly. Shout out to True 77. He's got to get back on the road. Hope you stay safe, bro.
Yeah, stay safe, True. Thank you for being here, brother.
BT says Red Wolf called their neon clap affliction. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Colt, thank you, says I hit the like button 3 times. Does that mean it's still thumbs up? Thumbs up? Yes, it does. So love you too, brother. DeMarcus says Fallout 76
is a good relaxing game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. Sorry, I didn't mean to take away your thunder there.
No, I thought you were going to go ahead. Go ahead.
No, yeah, it just and I, for what it's worth, everything I've seen of the game, I have to agree with that. It's like it's an oddly sort of zen, and you know, I think a big reason why is because it is. I know that they had a big focus originally on like, hey, you can attack other vault dwellers and there's a PvP component. Nobody engages with the PvP shit, dude. Nobody gives a fuck about PvP in Fallout 76. All people care about is the co-op aspect of it and doing the PvE content. And it's like, it's the exact same thing with Destiny. Like, everybody stopped caring about PvP in the Crucible after a while, and people only care about the PvE content, the raids, the dungeons, etc.
And look at the games now that are popping off, like Helldivers, PvE.
It's all the co-op. It's all the co-op games, and I watch. Sorry, this is the last thing I'm going to say before I take us off topic here, because we have a bunch of topics we want to cover.
We do.
I watch. I still watch Legendary drops pretty frequently, and one of the things he talks about is like part of the reason these games are doing so well, these sort of like co-op focused experiences, is because there seems to be this like deep desire from the gaming community at large to play games and experiences that bring us together, as opposed to sort of yanking us apart and like sort of butting heads and whatnot. There's like a deeper sort of metaphor there that I'm trying to articulate, but I'm
something
not doing
about
a very good
yanking
job,
and butting heads. Yeah, something. We'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna get into it now. But shout out to everyone again for being here. Thank you all so much. Hit the like button. I'll remove this poll here. Thank you all for hitting the like button, because someone said you can't make me. Why don't you make me go faster, you idiot? Anyway, look, you know what? Let's just get this thing out of the way. Highguard is a game of all
that
time.
Exists.
It's a game.
It is one of the games of all time.
Of all time. Exactly. Man. And so there's been a lot of speculation about, I think, and the thing is, I never like talking out of my ass, but from what I understand, we all thought that when Highguard was revealed at the Game Awards, that it was the last big thing. And everyone was, and me included, were like, so this was them saying like we want our spot at the Game Awards for marketing. So Jeff Keighley was able to play it behind the scenes. He enjoyed it so much that he was like, sure, we'll put you in there wherever we can, whether it has anything to do with filling in a slot. Like, we can only fit you in as the one last thing, which doesn't make any sense. To skip all of that kind of stuff, the consensus seems to be that. And after the game was revealed, after Highguard was revealed, the studio went silent, and everyone's like, where's the marketing? Where's the marketing? And I was always saying, well, the marketing was they must have spent like $1 million or something like on marketing for the Game Awards. It turns out it doesn't. The consensus from what I'm seeing, I've seen a lot of different takes and like some evidence from some other people online saying that Highguard didn't pay anything. That Jeff just simply liked the game that much.
He just liked the game for whatever reason.
Whatever reason,
and that's
right.
but he made the grave miscalculation to place it in a slot that historically and typically is reserved for like
bangers.
the big one.
Yes.
The big ones,
Yep.
And so when you put and it's funny, when I was watching the Game Awards from my couch that evening, it didn't, I was watching it and I'm like, oh, this looks all right, I guess. I wasn't really sort of like logically and critically thinking about it and analyzing it. It was only after I jumped on social media after the show was over, I realized like, oh shit, people are pissed about this being the last game. And honestly, I would put myself in that camp of people that says that if this game had been placed like earlier on in the show or even about halfway through, not nearly as much hate and vitriol would have been thrown its way. People would have just, done the same thing they usually do. They would have just probably shrugged it off, but I think the fact that Jeff made the executive decision to place it as the closing reveal of the Game Awards was a serious screw up like that. And I mean, we've seen it, right? The whole reason they didn't do any marketing for this game, like, say what you will about these devs, they're smart. They knew that if they came out and said anything, shared any sort of character trailers, any sort of gameplay breakdowns, if they shared a single glimpse of John Highguard's free-to-play haircut,
You're right.
There would be so much shit lobbed at them from every single direction. So they were basically in a no-win scenario, as far as I'm concerned. But now the game is officially out. People can play it themselves, and they can do what they should be doing, which is instead of listening to the mob of normie ball and gun gamers, play it yourself.
Like
and if you don't like it, you uninstall it, you get rid of it. If you like it, hey, it seems like it's probably going to have a small community. Now, I know one of the big stories right now is that, it peaked at just barely underneath 100,000 concurrent players on Steam, and we don't have console numbers, obviously. We don't get those, but and then it had a huge drop off. I think I saw today it was at like 18,000 players today. So you're talking 70 to 80% within the first 24 hours.
Right. Exactly.
And it's concerning for them because with a live service game like this, you need to have a solid player base and like a good community built up around it. But Highguard, and I think you've even alluded to it a little bit, Highguard sort of struggles to do. How do I want to say this? It does a lot fine enough, but it doesn't do one good thing in particular that makes it sort of stand out in this very crowded space. Like, it's got these huge open maps. It's got a ton of Apex Legends influence. I played it a little bit last night. You're riding out into this huge open map and you're opening these chests. You're grabbing armor plates and higher rarity guns and gear and whatnot. So a ton of Apex energy, which is to be expected, right? Because it's former Titanfall and Apex Legends people. And then you have this element of like capture the flag. You have the Stormbreaker sword that drops in the map, and there's usually this like tug of war back and forth. You bring it to the enemy base, the enemy brings it to your base, and you have this whole base mechanic where you reinforce walls and you have to defend generators, and then on top of that you have the hero characters who all have different abilities. They all have ultimate abilities, and so it's like this mishmash of different ideas that don't really coalesce, I think, quite as well as they could have. I I only played the tutorial and I've only played one match. As weird as this sounds, I do actually kind of want to go back and play a little bit more, just so that way I can form a bit more of a concrete opinion on it. But what I played, I didn't hate. I enjoyed it. I actually got like 35 kills in my first match. It went on for like almost 40 minutes. It was crazy.
Jesus
It was
Christ.
a constant. Yeah, it was a
I'll play with
constant back
you.
and forth. I was going off, dude. And it was my first game, bro. My teammates were ass. I carried them hard through the whole thing. We lost.
And you're like, I hate
ultimately,
it.
But
40 kills, I hate it.
yeah, no, well, lack of skill issue aside, I could see even while I was playing it where the cracks were in the foundation. I think one of my biggest nitpicks, dude. It's only 3v3, and you're playing on this huge, massive map.
Massive, terribly huge.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's like, it's way too big for just a 3v3. You need to have like 5v5 or 6v6 for a map of that size. It's and I know there will be, but it's like, right now at launch that probably would have been a good thing for them to include, you know. It feels too like I ride out from my base on my mount, and you know, it's just empty wide open space. You go, you loot, but like the odds of you actually finding somebody, there's too much of a gap in between like your shootouts, basically, I think is what I'm trying to say. And that's due to the fact that it is such a small player count in each game, and then on top of that, the map is just... I seriously can't stress enough. This map was enormous. Like, it was crazy. So
there's like a lot to dissect there, and I'm glad that you say, and shout out to 32 people here. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're currently talking about Highguard, and after we're done with this, we'll talk about Fable. So stick around because we really are excited to talk about Fable. So with Highguard, it's funny that you said it's not for me, but I kind of want to go back and play it. And it's funny. So DeMarco was streaming it, and I was like,
I caught a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So DeMarco was streaming it. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday. Day before yesterday? Whatever. He was streaming it, and I'm like, let me jump in there and play. So I played with DeMarco. And there were some mechanics that I wasn't understanding that he had a grasp on. There was, and vice versa, right? And stuff that we were just sort of like learning as we went along. And once we understood the mechanics, like I thought that we were at, like, oh, this round we're the attackers, so we need to go grab the shield breaker, and the next round we're going to be defenders. That's not how it works. One of the interesting things about the game dynamic is that depending on who gets the sword first, this huge sword called the shield breaker, whoever gets it first has an advantage to go and attack and raid the enemy base. So if you get the shield breaker, then you are effectively the attacker. And that's where like, oh shit, they got it, so let's go back to our base and get ready because these dudes are about to shove a sword up our ain. And those kind of features, like as we were learning, I'm like, that's kind of like a cool idea, but it was hard to grasp because of all the other things that were in the way. One of the things that DeMarco and I talked about is how you spend like 50%, 60% of the game, you ride out and you're looting and you're smashing crystals to get currency and then taking those back to buy weapons and upgrades. And DeMarco was like, I don't like this. And I'm like, I don't dislike it. I just feel like it sort of feels disjointed. If the focus is supposed to be everyone listen, like if let's just say you're in a party with your two other friends and you're all communicating and everyone is locked in, go out there, get the best loot possible, focus on that, and then once you got good gear, then go focus on the shield breaker. Go straight there, get the shield breaker, go to the enemy base and just fuck everyone up, right? It seems disjointed because it has like the looter shooter elements that feel it's like that should be throughout the whole entire game. So they're like, let's fit in the looter shooter element first, then we're going to do the MOBA element, right, where you go and you grab the shield breaker, and then you come back to your base and now you're doing like a tower defense, you know, a Rainbow Six Siege meets, you know, a bunch of medieval characters or whatever. And the idea there is really cool, but I feel like it's just not a game that it's not an Apex Legends. It's not a game that you jump into and play solos and have fun time with. It is a sweaty game like Overwatch, like Apex Legends. You don't just jump in and jump out.
To have, yeah, no, for sure, I agree with you there. Even just my one game last night, I'm playing solo. I don't have comms active with my rando teammates, and it's like, that lack of communication was a huge detriment, and part of the reason why that game carried on for like close to 40 minutes. That was a long match, and it was the constant, like, because if you're not talking with your teammates and coordinating with them, like, hey, I have the shield breaker, grab your mount, ride out with me and meet them.
Ride out with me. Yeah.
Some Helms, some real Helms Deep energy, you know, like, that's what I was trying to channel. But, of course, I wasn't talking to my teammates, and so they have no clue. And these guys were obviously, like, very new and had a serious skill issue. So they were struggling with it. But, yeah, it's a game that you can't really play solo. You know, you need to have a squad of people. And with the, you know, player numbers continuing to decline and with this... It's got like overwhelmingly negative reviews on Steam right now, which personally I think that's a little harsh. That's a little overblown in my opinion. A lot of that is just kind of the hate mob of
it's a bandwagoning.
It's bandwagoning, 100%. But because again, I think the thing that I come back to is that the game is not terrible. It's not terrible, but it's also not incredibly unique. You know, it just kind of sits in that sort of like milquetoast middle ground where it just doesn't have one particularly engaging hook to keep you invested and to make you, you know, pull out your wallet and your credit card and spend money on the microtransactions, because it does have the in-game store and whatnot. You know, I think it's too early to tell right now what sort of future this game has, because I know the devs came out and they were like, hey, we have this entire year-long roadmap for 2026. We have all this content planned. So it seems that they at least have enough funding or enough of a budget to be able to sort of continue to support the game and see what sort of legs, if any, it's going to end up having. But yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on it one way or another. I'm not one of the bandwagon haters who was hating on it from day one. You know, I've joked around and been like, oh, you know, Concord 2, but like I never meant it legitimately. You know, it stands on its own. It's got a good group of developers behind it, so we'll see what happens with it. I think the general consensus right now is just that those of us that have played it were not super enthusiastic about it. What I will say, the last thing I'll say about it in my piece is that I think it says a lot for me personally that, like, even despite the fact that I don't love it, I do still have this odd urge, like, you know what? I actually did kind of enjoy that. Like, I'm keen to play, like, a couple more matches and try some of the other characters and really, you know, dip my toes in the pond, so to speak,
and get
just
sweaty
kinda,
and like really like, get into
sweaty.
it.
I mean, again, I don't have any evidence to support this claim. You guys just have to take my word for it. But I got 35 kills in my first game.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah. So you were getting it. Listen, and so to your point, you had so many good points. It's one of those feelings, like, for example, like we played Marvel Rivals together. You, me, DeMarco, Assassin, Cold Eastwood, we all played Marvel Rivals for a few hours, and then played it like a couple times after that, I believe. And to compare Highguard to a game like an Overwatch clone, Marvel Rivals it does it so well, man. It is such a great hero shooter. The
Marvel IP
everything.
has a lot of staying power. Yeah,
it does, and it has so much nostalgia to it. You have an endless roster of heroes. You have so many possibilities. And love hero shooters or not, you can't argue that Marvel Rivals. It is the hero. For me personally, it is like the hero shooter over Overwatch even. But when we were playing that, at least we knew exactly what it was and we had a grasp on it. Which is, I'm an advocate for PvE because PvE is just much more fun. I just want to hang out and just, if we lose, we lost against the robot, not a bunch of sweaty 12-year-olds or whatever, right? But at least we knew what it was, and you can literally jump in there, choose your hero, and say, maybe this isn't my hero, and then you get a grasp on another hero, and you're like, this is for me. This is it. This is for me. With Highguard, it's sort of like you're juggling so many different mechanics, so many new things. I have to loot, and I have to get the what now? I got it back to the shield. Wait. Okay, there's the shield breaker, but then there's also the, what is it? The the doppel smash, whatever the hell it was that you can use.
Yeah, they throw a lot at you, and it's a bit of a struggle to kind of parse through it. The only thing that I was like even remotely familiar with was just the gunplay, because the credit where credit's due. There are good things. The shooting feels good. It feels good. You know, it feels like, I haven't played Apex Legends in years, but it feels like what I remember Apex feeling like. And then the looting aspect, you know, it's literally like they ripped it straight out of Apex. You grab the shields, you open the chests, yada yada. You know, right. I like, as weird as this sounds, I like some of the character and art design of it. I think some of it is really interesting, just to have this sort of medieval fantasy FPS thing. The only other game I've seen do this sort of like similar aesthetic is Immortals of Avium, which was like a single player magic fantasy focused first person shooter, sort of a very similar sort of vibe, but it's a very unique like subgenre of like medieval fantasy that I think hasn't really been explored a lot. And to be completely honest, part of the reason why it probably hasn't been explored a lot is because it doesn't seem to really be clicking with a lot of people, you know? Immortals of Avium didn't do particularly well, and this game is not doing particularly well either, so.
Right. Well, and like you said, I guess the last thing that I'll say is, in my time with it, it was one of those games where I wanted to love it so much, and like even whenever DeMarco and I stopped playing it, I was like, man, I kind of want to keep playing it. Like, I kind of want to, not because like,
so you had the exact same feeling that I'm describing, right? Like, you can't quite explain it, but you just feel like, you know, I do kind of want to keep playing. You can't,
and it's because I feel like I haven't gotten the entire like grasp of what it is yet. I feel like once I get the full grasp and understand that it's not for me, I feel
the same way.
Or I feel like I gave it a fair shake and played with the team, and we played for like a week or two every now and then, and we really, you know what, we're getting it, guys. Dude, this is actually really fun. Like, and to miss out on that opportunity would suck. But again, it is.
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like, I really wanted to like it, and like after I went to bed and woke up the next day, I was still kind of thinking about it. Like, it's one of those games that does a lot really well, but if you're not patient with it, you can bounce off of it really, really quickly. But they do have a roadmap, and they're gonna have new modes. That's gonna be 5v5. I'm sure they're gonna have a battle royale mode, because that's gonna. I guarantee it's gonna happen.
100%.
And it's gonna be like,
no
it's gonna be like,
yeah.
It's gonna be like, you know, let's say 30 people on one map, right? It's not going to be like insane, but it still will be the battle royale version. I can almost guarantee you guys it's going to be there. And that kind of stuff, it's really exciting. I feel like the future is exciting for them. I hope that they land on their feet and all this. The issue that we can talk about here, and I'm sort of piggybacking off of John Clark from Xbox Era. He had a really great point about this. And I think this is what people are I totally agree with this. He said that if you remember Apex Legends, right? When Apex Legends dropped, it was just a game just dropped today. What are you playing? Some game just dropped randomly. It's called Apex Legends. Like, oh, is it What is it? Like, well, let me jump in with you.
I remember that too.
And then it started
like
to.
It was just yesterday. Yeah.
I remember like the little like desert area where you were like in the firing range. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this game? It's like, I don't know. And then look at it now. It snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. It did not have this hype, like this astronomical hype of all things, the Game Awards, and being the last thing, it could have just as easily shadow dropped, and people picked up on it and formulated their own opinion rather than sort of leaning into someone like Jeff Keighley to say, if Jeff Keighley's the one saying that it's going to be the last thing in his showcase, it's got to be great, right? And a lot of people aren't giving it the time of day or clowning it because of that. So yeah. And he's like, everyone owes me an apology. I'm like, Jeff, stop talking.
Bro,
God,
Jeff's I don't have to always like the hustle, but I always have to respect the hustle. And Jeff's been going to bat for this game, man. And it's been really funny to see. He posted one a couple hours ago. It's like, when I hopped on X this morning, and it's the picture of a Flynn Rider from Tangled. He's like this. He's like, shing, all the swords pointing at him. It's like, I bet you feel that way, Mr. Keighley. But yeah, it's just... It's an ongoing saga. It's too early to tell how it's going to play out now, I feel personally. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I want to jump in a couple more games. I want to give it a fair shake. I want to try to acclimate to it. And I say that even though I know I'm probably just going to end up bouncing off of it. I want to be able to say to myself and to people who ask that, like, yes, I played it. I put X amount of hours. I gave it a shot. 100%. Whatever comes next. So
100% right there with you, man. Like totally right there with you. Well, that's Highguard, and I hope to come back and say, remember when we were talking about Highguard and it wasn't for us, and look at it now.
We were taking a fat dump on it.
Remember shitting all over it that day? Yeah, exactly. Like, and in chat, I'm curious if anyone in chat has played it or tried it or plans to try it, or has plans to try it with friends. Especially because this game is 100% meant to be played with friends. Don't jump in by yourself, because you'll just be like, I'm done. So yeah, like if you have a group of friends that you usually play Call of Duty with, or Battlefield, or Siege, or especially Siege, Assassin, definitely give this game a shot with your friends, because I feel like you would actually really enjoy it. But if you don't have that, it has a lot of moving parts, and I really commend the team for trying something different. But a lot of those things don't really work too well together. But hopefully it's just growing pains, because I'm sure that we will see in the next few months, the numbers are rising, players are streaming it, people are gaining interest, and they're nailing it. And it's a free game. It's a free game.
I don't know if I would go quite that far, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, it's okay to be wrong. No, I'm just kidding. No, I totally either way it
wouldn't
goes.
Be the first time.
Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, exactly. Well, that moment has come where I have to pee really bad, and so what better time to pee than let's talk. Finally, we're gonna talk about Fable.
The big one. Yes.
The big one, dude. Okay, so man, I don't even know where to start with this. So Fable. By the way, everyone, again, thank you all so much for being here. Shout out to 35 people hanging out with us in chat. Please hit the like button.
Hit that like button, subscribe, send him all of the super chats, all of them. No, just kidding. Only do it if it's within your means and if you support the content here on the channel.
Yeah, and thank you all so much for the super chats and the membership gifting to Lotus and Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat and Game Seeker. And there goes Andrew Cullinane. He says, hey now. Thank you so much for everyone for being here. So let's talk about Fable. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to ask you a question. What did you expect? What were you expecting out of Fable versus how you felt after the reveal? And I'll be right back.
Yeah, so I'm going to be brutally honest with all of you. I was going in with some seriously low expectations. Very low expectations. I've never played a Forza game. I don't have any exposure to playground games, and I've always heard good things, so I'm aware that they're a really talented studio. But Fable was announced in 2017, 2018. Cold Eastwood, you're in the chat, man. You correct me. You're the expert on this. But it's like the game has been in gestation for so long. I'm just over here like, dude, take a shit or get off the toilet, man. Seriously. Like, I'm tired of waiting. I've been holding it in. I can only hold it in for so long. Just release the game. Like, what on earth is taking so long? And in the works since 2017. Yeah, thank you, DeMarco. So we're going on, like, what, 9 years almost? The game's been in development? Well, I've never been more happy to sit on my ass and eat crow because, man, that developer direct, what they showed with Fable, even though it wasn't a whole lot, it's definitely a lot more than what we've seen in the past. It exceeded my expectations. I was so happy to see that Playground Games, after all this time, seemingly managed to retain the spirit. It's unhealthy to hold it in. Yeah, I know.
That's why I had to let it out. Right? That's why,
yeah. They somehow managed to retain the spirit of those original Fable games from Lionhead. Rest in peace. So yeah, I was one of the skeptics. I was definitely a skeptic, and what they showed instilled a lot more confidence in me. And man, I'm happy to know in the back of my mind, like, Fable's coming back, man, because I grew up on that original trilogy of Fable games. I played through all 3 of them. I did the co-op. I did Fable 2 was probably my favorite looking back. There's nothing quite like Fable in the RPG space. This sort of like Monty Python, dark British humor, fairy tale-esque RPG. There's really nothing quite like it. You can't draw any sort of direct comparisons to anything else. And so the fact that they are doing this, and it's a reboot, but they're still keeping those familiar elements. It's set in Albion. You have your major settlements and cities, Bowerstone, Bloodstone, that have been there since the original games. All of the classic creatures, the Balverines, the bandits, the hobs, the giant trolls, the Heroes Guild, the fact that you're playing as a hero, the fact that you start out the game as a child.
Yes, that was the thing, bro.
I can't think of a whole lot of other RPGs aside from maybe Fallout 3, where you start off as a kid and you go through this growth period, and it's like the classic hero's origin story, the hero's journey,
Exactly.
Or the villain origin story.
Or the villain story. It's like
Granny gets turned to stone, and this is how I become the Joker. All right.
Right. Or Jack of Blades, which is an interesting.
Or Jack of Blades. Yeah.
It's a very interesting fan theory that we've been seeing. I've been hearing about. Is this the Jack of Blades origin story? Woo! Which could be
that'd be wild.
Big, if because
true.
we know we know that he was a hero at one point. So
yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway, for you Fable nerds out there, you know what we're talking about, but no spoilers. But one of the greatest things I'll never forget playing Fable 1 for the first time ever, right? You walk into a Blockbuster and you have nothing to gauge to any sort of, like, if I'm going to enjoy this game, but flipping over the game case and looking at the back of the game. And the back of the game says something like, you grow up, You learn skills as you play, just like a Bethesda game. Like, you do the thing and you get better at it. And in Fable, it was like, as you get better at certain things, your character physically changes. Like, they physically look different.
Yeah. It was
as time goes on.
It was strength. It was strength, skill, and will. So strength was like your melee tree, skill for like ranged combat if you want to like crossbow, bow and arrow, and then will for the magic.
Yep, exactly. And so as you would go on, like, you get super skilled with will. Like, you would have like these glowing tattoos all over your hands and your face and your body and stuff like that. The more that you would get downed in combat, you would gain scars, things like that, right? Fable has always been sort of leaning into, you do whatever you want and you become that thing. Whereas Bethesda is sort of like go wherever you want, do whatever you want all the time. So Fable is much more of a focused RPG, like you said, fairy tale experience rather than like an ever expanding adventure that you sort of make up as you go along. The interesting thing about Fable has always been how the world reacts to you, and if you look scary or whatever, in the original Fable games, you would put on armor and it would say like this will make you more attractive, or this will make you scary, or this will make you intimidating. So you would just walk into a town and people would be like, oh shit, and like they would react to you because you were scary. Or you would walk past like a group of women or whatever, and they'd be like, oh hello there, chicken chaser, and they would be super horny. And that's wonderful. And it seems like they are totally leaning into those systems, but in a 2026 mentality. It's insane to see they are bringing back the reputation system. Over 1,000 NPCs in the entire game. They all have their own names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's
what did you think about that, man?
So that would explain why partially would explain why it's taken them this long to get this game out the door, because it's okay. You're not gonna like this, but I have to say it. I have to get it off my chest. I am on team 1,000 NPCs and not team 1,000 planets. Okay?
That's okay.
1,000 unique NPCs sounds infinitely more interesting to me. I'm sorry, I have to do that to you. You know I love you.
It's okay, bro. No, I know.
But it's. So there's always the possibility, right, that you could see repeating character models, you might hear repeated voice lines, but right now, just the idea of 1,000 NPCs that are given unique personalities, they all have a schedule. It reminds me of like what Bethesda used to do with their games. Like it was Radiant AI, right? Like
yes,
NPCs would be unique. They were all named. They all had unique dialogue. They all had schedules. They had jobs, families. They'd get up every morning, go to work, go to sleep at night, eat, sleep, repeat. And so you can talk with all of the NPCs. You can romance the NPCs. You can get married. You can have children. You can get divorced. You can get married again. You can have more children. You can buy every property. Like
just like in the original trilogy,
just like in the original game.
Yeah,
it's like when they focused on that section of the developer direct talking about all of these social systems, I was like, that was the thing I think I was most concerned about, because I wasn't quite sure if they were going to translate that one-to-one to this reboot. Like combat, I feel like, and I'll get into this in a little bit, but combat I wasn't particularly concerned about. Everything we'd seen in the trailers, the style, the humor, the art direction, I wasn't concerned about. I'm like, this looks great, it's going to be fine. It was the social element that I was the most curious but also concerned about. Right. Bro, they nailed it, dude. They fucking nailed it, because it looks great. Like it's what I imagined Fable playing like and looking like, where in the modern sort of gaming space, where they bring over all these features from the original trilogy, and they do it with respect, and they put their own spin on it. I know that there's still question marks about the morality system, and I know, and game adaptation newscast, I know you mentioned this a little bit ago, but you're not going to sort of have physical changes to your appearance, whether you play good or evil. And I also know that certain... Yes, they have. They've confirmed that. You're not going to grow double horns. You're not going to get the halo, which I honestly...
And shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I couldn't care either way. I liked it when we were playing the original games, but if they're not doing it here, I'm not going to get all up in arms about it. I'm not like a Fable purist,
Right. It doesn't bother me too much. Like, not to cut you off, I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but like Mass Effect and KOTOR, they did it really well because the changes with your morality were very subtle. Halo was not subtle at all. You were like fucking horns like out your ass like this fucking far, and your eyes were glowing red and shit. KOTOR and Mass Effect did it very well, where you would start to become evil, your face would like decay and get grayer, and your eyes would change. So I guess, and to that point, it doesn't bother me that much. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know there's a lot of other people that have been up in arms about how, Playground and Ralph Fulton, the game director, had said that, they don't see morality in this version of Fable as, there's a set black and white good and evil. Everything is gray and subjective. Everything sort of exists in the middle ground, and I'm open to this idea that they're presenting, where it's sort of based more on the reputation you have with individual NPCs or groups of NPCs that sort of influences how the world is sort of affected by your decisions. And so there's no sort of concrete good and evil decisions. It's like, good is going to be subjective, evil's going to be subjective. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but I'm open to this interpretation of it. I'm going to stay open-minded, and, again, just based off everything they've shown, I think that they're going to take it in a really interesting direction there.
And
yeah, go for it. No, you go for it. You're good.
Okay, no,
Okay,
you hang up.
okay.
You hang up.
No, you hang up.
Go ahead,
Yeah, so the one nitpick that I have, it really is just a nitpick. I think the combat looks a little, it looks a little weird. No, that's the male walk animation.
That's right.
No,
We'll get
anyway,
into that.
Yeah. No, the combat has this sort of weird look, and I can just sort of parse out probably how it feels in a controller just by watching the gameplay, and it just looks a little iffy. I don't know what the right word is to describe it, but there's some sort of X factor there when I was watching the gameplay that seems to be missing. It doesn't look like it has the same sort of punch that even though the combat in the original games was like incredibly simplistic, this one just doesn't look like it has the same punch. But again, that's really just a nitpick. I know that we're still months away from release, and I also know that they took a lot of inspiration from The Witcher, which it's been years since I played The Witcher 3, so like I remember enjoying the combat but not being overly fond of it. I was like, yeah, it works, it's serviceable. I didn't love the combat in The Witcher 3, but again, it's been years since I played it. If I played it now, I'd probably have a different opinion. But yeah, the combat is really the only thing that I have any sort of issue with, and I'm talking like the most minor of issues, and there's room for them to improve that, like up until the game comes out. Everything else, it's a wrap, dude. It looks great. It looks awesome. It's everything that I would have wanted from a modern Fable game. They've kept us waiting this long. If it's coming out in autumn, I think it's going to come out in September, probably early to mid-September. I'm okay to wait just a little bit longer because the game, it looks great.
We've waited this long already. One of the things that that they talked about after the fact, Arrow Nation, did you see Mag's short about the walking? I did see his videos. That was hilarious. I don't know if you saw his.
So dumb. This whole thing about the male walk animation. It's like, yeah, they did probably just like transplant the male character model onto the female walk cycle, but there's time
I think you
for
can
them
choose
to
your
fix
walk
that.
styles. I think it's as simple as that.
I
think it's all
time.
that we were seeing.
They'll get it ironed out. It's just people getting upset over the most ridiculously small.
I think that they were pandering to people who wanted to be curious, right? And I feel like it's okay to experiment with features with your own character. No one's going to judge you. It's a single player fucking game. Do whatever the hell you want to do. I can guarantee you there is a, whatever you want to call it, body type 1, body type 2, walk style 1, walk style 2, and you can mix and match that however you want, because this is an RPG and that's how it should be. I think I encourage that. But what I will say, one of the things that I was so happy to hear about was whenever you were talking about morality system in Fable. Real quick, I didn't want to miss this because I haven't seen this person. Rosario in chat says, I would like to know how many women can you romance and how many kids can you have? All of them. They said that you can have multiple wives or husbands and multiple kids in all cities, because to my point with the morality system, if you get in trouble in one town and do something terrible in one town, it doesn't mean that whenever you walk into the next town, they're going to be like, we know what you did. They're like, we don't know who you are. Welcome. It's not like the entire universe knows that you've done something wrong. In video games, those types of systems are so rare these days because everything has to function. And I can't imagine how difficult it must be for them to have a morality system or like a bounty system or whatever, where if you're in trouble once, you're in trouble everywhere, all over the place. Like in Red Dead Redemption, right? Let's say in Red Dead Redemption, like you kill a guy, right? You have a bounty in that area, but it should be that way, but they just track you all over the entire universe. And I'm like, how do you even know what I did 150 miles away in Valentine, and I'm over here in Timberwood or whatever the fuck.
I could see it breaking immersion a little bit if, like, you know, you go to one town and you just like do some really messed up shit, and then you go to the next town over, and it's like they
welcome.
They don't have like they just welcome you in, and it's like you guys don't have USPS out here. You don't have carrier pigeons. Like, news clearly doesn't travel very fast here in Albion. It's like, you guys, do you have any idea who I am?
You know who I am. Exactly.
Bring that sort of energy, and it's
right.
I could see there potentially being some holes in like the immersion with that, but
right.
Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to derail you.
No, it's okay. And to your point about the combat, it's so weird. Like, what I didn't like about the combat was the UI, and where there's UI, there's hopefully accessibility options, because you guys know me, I turn off the majority of things that I don't feel like I necessarily need. But the only good thing to ever come out of Dragon Age of Veilguard was the combat. The combat was incredible. It was really, really good. Like, the combat in Veilguard, it's incredible. It's really, really, really good. And that was it. That's all that I can say about that game that's good. Besides the visuals. The visuals were really great, except for all the Disney characters. I don't even go on a tangent. But anyway, that's kind of what it reminded me of. And I was like, it actually looks really good to me. There was something... Cold Eastwood was talking about this. There's something about... like, for, let's say, like Skyrim, right? Like, whenever you hit someone, the sword just sort of has like one speed whenever you're attacking someone. In games like Warhammer Vermintide, whenever you swing your weapon and it connects with the character, it sort of like stops for a second and then like continues.
It slows down,
and it gives you the sense of impact. And this game does that. And so you were talking about, I don't really feel the sense of impact. I did a video on the game, so maybe I've seen it a lot more times than you, but I would encourage you to go back and look at that and see what you think about it, because there was actually a lot of that. And I don't know if it was like critical hits or whatever, but it did seem like the impact was there. Now, I will say that I tried to play a game that I was really, really excited to play. What the fuck was it called? It's where you play as like a little rodent, and you can customize the rodent. Biomutant. That's what it was. Biomutant. I love the look at that game, but whenever you hit someone, it doesn't matter if you're hitting them with a hammer or a sword or shooting them with a gun. It was like the sound. The
feedback was like
Thank you. The sound feedback was like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And I'm like, I'm not hitting them. Like, and so it actually like genuinely messed me up in combat.
It's the definition of floaty, because you're just hitting air.
It's the same, dude. It's the reason why I'm not a fan of a lot of MMOs, because they don't necessarily do it very well. Actually, Elder Scrolls Online, their combat feels really good because it actually has that impact, the feedback.
People really underestimate like just how important good hit feedback is in any sort of like action game with like a combat system. Good feedback is like so crucial to what makes that enjoyable. And to be clear, like, there were things about the combat that I thought looked cool. The part where he's got the crossbow, it's like an automatic crossbow, which by itself is totally badass, but he's shooting the skeleton knight in armor and the arrows are just bouncing off, and he's like, oh wait, well, his leg is exposed, let me hit the leg, and it sweeps him out from underneath him. Like, he takes out the leg and he just topples over, and then he pulls out the great hammer and just bashes him in. I like that. I think that's cool. So there's like an element of sort of like bodily damage or like dismemberment or something, some sort of aspect there. I like the finisher moves where
the flourishes, essentially.
It's basically,
so cool.
That's basically what it is. It's like the slow-mo flourishes from the original game. Yeah, so there are parts of it that look cool. I need to see more, and I ultimately just need to kind of play it and see how it feels in a controller before I end up making up my mind. Again, it's just a nitpick. I'm open-minded. I'm open to them, making changes and improving it. But, yeah. So.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, dude, I cannot tell you how many times I have looked at a game trailer, watched a deep dive, watched someone stream it, and I'm like, nah, whatever. I don't know. And then all of a sudden,
right off the rip.
You're just like, nah, that ain't for me, bro. But then all of a sudden, like, hey, we release a demo. Or it's free play day, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll try it. And I'm like, yo, this is really good. What the fuck? Yeah. This was not telegraphed properly for me. And then I'm completely caught off guard by, you can look at something and judge it, and then you can feel something. Highguard. Caught off Highguard, exactly. Totally caught off Highguard. Thrown off of my bear mount, if you will. And be really surprised by how it feels versus how it looks. And I'm sure that this will be a similar case. There was a lot of the HUD looked very busy, but yeah. So the character customization.
I disagree with that, actually. I think the HUD was like really clean. That was one of the things that shocked me. It was like how clean it honestly, if there hadn't have even been a HUD, like there basically shouldn't have even been a HUD. Like, might as well have not been a HUD, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because it was so bare bone.
Let's get into how the internet is buffering. Let's get into that. Love that. Are we good for you guys? I don't know what's happening.
Uh-oh.
By the way, we're completely and utterly snowed in. Have not been able to lose. Have not been able to leave the house in 4 days.
There we go. I refreshed. It looks like we're okay.
Okay, good. All right, just making sure. Yeah. Sorry guys. Yeah, we are completely snowed in here. You can walk outside, and the snow is like this deep. It's like, like a foot and a half deep, and you are just standing right on top of it. It's like ice. You're just standing on top of it. It's the weirdest thing. Like, we haven't had snow like this ever in my entire life of living here. It's insane.
We haven't gotten any snow out here yet, and we're almost done with January. It's like, dude, I haven't seen anything like this out here where I'm living.
Good.
It's crazy. We usually have several inches of snow by now, and we haven't gotten a single speck out here. It's crazy.
It was buffering good now. Okay, good. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it is the weather is just it's insane. But and hope everyone on the east or west side or whatever, and wherever there's snow, hope you're staying warm, staying safe. And shout out to everyone here again. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. What was I going to say?
Like button.
Oh yeah, hit the like button. And again, thank you all so much. I meant to shout out the channel members, by the way. Might as well just do that real quick right now. Shout out to all the channel members: Cold Eastwood, Hargeet Chani, Game Seeker, Highlander Grim, Bit Rinaldi, American Fury, and FarQ. Thank you guys so much for being channel members. Sincerely appreciate it.
Fascinating story. Any chance you're nearing the end?
Yes. Yeah, sorry, girl. We'll continue. One of the things that I do want to talk about is the character creation. I was really happy about that.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Like, everyone was so like. I was one of those people that were like, dude, it's a Fable game. Yeah. Like, they're not gonna do this.
People are just. People are dumb, dude. The normies are just dumb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but also, fuck all of y'all. I'm not sorry. No, just kidding.
No, go ahead.
I'm not sorry. Okay, everybody who was hating on this shit, because they only saw the female character, you're dumb, bro. Like, how could you seriously not think they weren't? I'm gonna go off for a minute.
Go
man.
off.
This whole thing was so stupid. It's like, how could you possibly think there wouldn't be a male character option? This is Fable, for God's sake. They've had that from the franchise's inception.
Yeah,
like, it was so this whole thing about like, oh, you know, she's fugly, bro. It's like, I don't give a shit, dude. They're gonna let you play as a male character. What are you getting so up in arms about? Like, God, people just annoy the shit out of me.
There are a lot of virgins out there that haven't felt the warmth of a woman's touch as well. So
the felt of a woman's touch,
as Peter Molyneux would say.
Yes,
the power.
Yes, with the power of touch.
Thank you.
But it's what I was surprised by was the fact that they do have a character customizer, because typically in the previous games you pick a preset female or male. Like, you're not able to change the appearance. They're just like typical sort of, you know, they stay the same. Here it's like, okay, you can change skin tone, hair, body type, you know, musculature, etc., and so that was actually really cool to see, because I was one of those people. I thought, okay, yeah, they're probably just gonna have like default character male and female, you know, like John Shepard and Jane Shepard from Mass Effect.
I knew you were gonna bring up Mass Effect.
The default choice, which I on it. Side note, I can never create a Commander Shepard that looks the way I want him to look. So I always, because the created versions, they just always look ugly, dude. They're always super ugly. So I always end up settling for just John Shepard, just the sort of
the supermodel
and
the cut,
the supermodel. And it's like, and I'm always happy with that, you know.
Same.
So it's like,
and the thing is, because they are sort of the mascot for the franchise, right? Like,
exactly.
Even if you create your own male Shepherd or your female Shepherd or your John Fable or your Jane Fable, those characters are still iconic, right? They are still iconic. And I'm sorry to cut you off because I know I'm gonna forget what I was gonna say.
No, you're good. You're good.
You will still look at that lady. BT Maverick says, I'm still playing as that exact girl, and I never thought that she looked bad. I just thought, why showcase this person? And again, it's all about perspective and preference and whatnot. Like, I never thought that she looked ugly. I was just like, why didn't they showcase her and then another dude and then her again, and like, or like another girl or whatever? And again, I think it is again like the mascot of the franchise. Like, even though you and I'll create my own male Shepherd or I'll create my female Shepherd. Every time that I see the default male or female Shepherd, I know it's Shepherd, and that's all that I need to know. Right?
Yeah. Well, and speaking a bit to the chat, and then I'll get to my point. Yes, I agree, DeMarco. I don't think it's going to be like super comprehensive like a Bethesda game. It's going to be it's lots of presets. But it's not going to be like bare bones either, I don't think, you know. And yes, and then game adaptation newscast, I 100% agree with you. People just want shit to complain about, bro. It's fucking annoying. Sorry if I'm cursing a lot, but I'm allowed to curse here. All right,
I encourage you.
This is a show for adults. All right, and I got stuff I need to get off my chest.
Exactly, right? I got shit going on, man.
But yeah, for real. No, but to your point, like, I mean, at the end of the developer direct, you know, they show off that piece of key art, which is like presumably what the box art for the game is going to look like, and it's the female character. So yeah, so you're always going to have a mascot that sort of, you know, is the symbol of what the franchise is. So I have no issues with it. A lot of morons do, but they're going with the female mascot. That doesn't take away from the fact that you can play as a male. It's the same shit with, you know, I know that it's technically like canonical that Cassandra is the protagonist in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you can play it as Alexios and still have just as much fun.
Which I did,
and then
by the
on
way.
Top of that, like, and I love that they did this, because I just spit on my microphone. I'm getting like super hyped up here.
Love it.
Yeah, for real. I've never seen anybody else do this, but back when Mass Effect 3 came out, BioWare had, like, you know, your reversible slipcover. So
Right.
male
Yeah.
you had a male and a female shepherd that you could like reverse the slip cover, and it's like it's all down to your preference, you know. And so I just
100%.
people just want shit to complain about, and it's just it's aggravating. So but anyway,
and some people in chat,
I can't wait to play as John Fable, dude. That's gonna be so much fun.
John Fable is gonna be peak, bro.
I love the John. I love the John such and such meme, dude. It's
me
so
too.
damn funny. John Highguard.
John Highguard. So that was his name, John Highguard.
John Highguard.
That's the name of the CEO for all we know. Let me see.
For real.
Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat. There should be a bounty for that walk. Game Adaptation says if you play manly, then you stomp around. If you play gaily, you walk with light loafers. Yeah, and again, I think that we will have some preset heads that we can't customize. That we will then be able to add facial hair, head hair, and clothes, and also be able to customize the way that we walk, whether it's feminine or not. Starfield allows that, by the way. You can switch everything up, do whatever the hell you want all the time. Nefarious Noob, dude, I haven't seen you in chat in a while. Thank you for being here. Or maybe I'm just an asshole and I'm not paying attention. Nefarious Noob says that's what I don't like about ESO. It feels very floaty. I want to like it so much, but the lack of gusto on the impacts leaves me underwhelmed. Yeah, I totally get that. It's definitely there in ESO, but it's not. Yeah, like it doesn't feel like as visceral. It feels very cartoony and floaty. Yeah, because MMOs have like I've always pick on MMOs, not because I dislike them, but I want them to feel unique. I much rather prefer the games that you realize after the fact are MMOs, like The Division, or Fallout 76, where it doesn't feel like an MMO first and foremost, but after the fact you're like, oh, this kind of is an MMO, right? But it doesn't feel like it. A lot of these medieval fantasy MMOs, they all sort of feel the same. They're kind of floaty, and you got like a little circle around the bottom of your character's feet, and then you got a bunch of asshole players running around jumping on each other's head with their names floating above their head. I can't get into it, but I totally get it. Let me see. Baldur's Gate kind of bear mount? Yes. Let me see. There's someone I wanted to grab. Lotus Esprit sent.
You see that NPC over there? You can
mount him.
You can mount them.
You can mount them. That's true.
And then you're just riding them around on all fours in your saddle,
And they have like a ball guy. They're like, "Help me!" Lotus Esprit says, "I spent hours creating characters in Saints Row. I'm excited for this." Yeah, same. Every time that there's a character creation, I'm lost. And then you get it. And this is one of the things that I love about Mass Effect, where you after you make your character, you have a character code, and I just like take out my phone, screenshot that, got you. That way, if I fuck up whenever I start the new game, I can just
I
input
wish
it.
More games would do that, dude. That is like such because oftentimes I'll find that I will like screw up in a certain way, or I'll end up undoing something, and it's like, oh shit, if only I had a code I could use to like import everything I had done before this point. And
your character is like sideways, and you're like, they look great, and then they turn to the camera and they're like, and you're like, oh shit, I fucked up their whole face. Like, damn it, I need to go back. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't make John Shepard, I made John Oblivion.
Exactly. You can't combine those two universes. This isn't gonna work. Let's see. Ion Storm. Oh, sorry, he's talking to someone else. Customization seems akin to Vampire the Masquerade. That's a really good comparison. Ion Storm is saying that the customization seems to be more akin to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, or even just like the original Masquerade, where it was you have like a couple different heads that you can select. And a couple of different hairstyles, but it worked because it was one of those. It's kind of like why everyone loves John Shepard, the male default Shepard, because he just is good looking. He's not too complicated. He doesn't have a hairstyle that you don't dislike because he doesn't have much hair, but he's like good looking enough to where you're like, it's fine. Same thing with Bloodlines 2. Same thing with Fable, I believe. Like I think we saw like 4 different presets. I think we saw like the default chick, then we saw like another default 2 default dudes, and like maybe another.
Yeah, they
dude.
showed a couple of different sort of versions, but the point is that like you're gonna have the free reign to customize your character. The something I wanted to mention really quickly is like and another thing that's like really exciting in addition to like the social systems is this idea of your actions change the world. So you got that guy that goes all Jack and the Beanstalk on you. And you can either kill him or spare him, and if you kill him, his body's staying outside, and because nobody wants to move into a town with the dead giant on the outskirts, housing market is going to completely crash. And it's like, that is such an awesome sort of chain reaction of choice and consequence there. And then they're like, oh yeah, and then he's going to be there for the rest of the game. Then that has me asking all sorts of questions like, does his body decompose? Is there like a stink when you go into town? Is it gonna drive? Is everybody gonna move out of the town and it's just gonna be like completely abandoned? Like,
and commenting on it, by the way.
There's so much possibility there. It's crazy. So.
And like, can you imagine like walking into the town near where the dead giant dude is, and they're like, "There's an awful stench coming from that giant outside the town areas." I'm sorry, I just offended all of our UK guys. That kind of stuff I feel like is going to be in the game more, because one of the things about Fable is that the NPCs sort of shape your own perspective on yourself, where everyone's talking shit about you, everyone telling you that you're a chicken chaser, and everyone calls you an idiot or a buffoon or whatever. It's not like you chose to do that. You made a decision based off of whatever moral decision that you decided to make. You chose that decision. Now you're dealing with the consequences because of how other people are reacting to you. And so
I love the British element. You go up to that lady and she's like, "This person thinks you're a rich twat."
I know exactly. I'm like, thank you. One of the things that, whenever it comes to choice and consequence, that I've been trying to just like live in the world, bro. Because video games, you can load and you can save. I've been trying to play games where I just deal with my consequence. That's the decision that I made. What the fuck was I playing last night?
No quick load. Yeah.
Oh, it was Starfield. It was actually Starfield. Something happened last night. I was playing and someone needed my help with something and I failed. What was it? Oh, it was no, wait. I'm retarded. It was Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's what it was. It was Assassin's Creed Shadows. This little boy was like, "No way, I need to make a soup." So I had to go out and get ingredients for this little boy to make a soup so he could impress his master. Went out and got all the ingredients, came back to him, and he's like, "What do you recommend that I put in the soup?" And I'm like, "Put in, this ingredient and that ingredient." And he tastes it, and he's like, "This tastes like shit." He didn't actually say that, but he's like, "This doesn't taste very good, but thank you for trying." And it just said quest complete. I'm like, I'm gonna live with this. This needs to be okay with me. I did this. Don't bring up the menu, load back a save, deal with your consequences.
You ruined this child's dreams of becoming a master chef.
I know. All he wanted to do
in ancient dynasty Japan.
Right, exactly. But the thing is, living with your consequences and then knowing that you'll come back to this game a year later after you put it down and you're done with it is rewarding in its own right, I think. Just knowing that you made a decision that impacted the world and now you have to live with it. That's what role-playing games are all about, in my opinion. And I feel like so many people are like, how do I fix what, you're in the middle of a dialogue option. Let me pause my game, Google it. What should I say to this person? I'm trying to stop doing that. I'm trying to just totally stop doing that. And so I say that to say, when Fable comes out, I'm not doing any of that. I'm just going to live with my consequences. And I can't wait. Yeah.
I'm excited. It's definitely, it's again, I went from not excited to very excited really quickly. So it's shot up my list of games that I 100% need to play this year. So, but speaking of living with the consequences of your actions, this
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. Yeah. You fuckers.
You pieces of shit. Before we get into that, real
they're
quick,
living with the consequences of their terrible decisions right now. So
they absolutely are. Game Adaptation Newscast says, "What the fuck? Shepard is hot." Damn right they are. Don't kill Moss. Ion Storm is laughing at my accent. Yeah, I do all kinds of accents that are terrible. DeMarco says, I did that on my first playthrough of Mass Effect 1 when Rex. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you mean like you were just like, I'm just gonna live with this? Yeah. It's rough, man. Ooh. Ooh, I can't wait to get back into Mass Effect.
That's such a great moment, by the way. There's like so much tension there, and
I know on the beach.
For everybody who hasn't played that game, I don't want to say specifically. I mean, the game's been out for over a decade, but anyway.
Yeah.
So
16 years anniversary for Mass Effect 2, and we're almost at 20-year anniversary for Mass Effect 1. Can you believe that?
That's crazy, dude.
In 2020, November 2027. No, October, November 2027, it'll be 20 years since the Mass Effect came out. It's crazy. Yeah.
I still think that the first game is my favorite in the trilogy. I still think it's my favorite. As great as great as and as dark and like Empire Strikes Back energy, the Suicide Mission with the sequel with 2. And then 3 was like the really dark, the conclusion, and obviously, the ending and whatnot. But it's about the journey, not the destination. That original game just has such a magical quality to it that every time I go back and play it, it's like I'm playing it again for the first time. And on top of that, it's got, in my opinion, the greatest end credits song of all time, over 8 minutes. M4 Part 2 by Fonts is like, it's like that electronic rock. It just gets me every time. Anyway,
it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, really good.
Let's see. Pity they grandpa. Why can't I say grandpa? I'm just gonna call you grandpa. I'm gonna call you Game Cat. How about that? Game Cat says, "Pity they spoilt the giant dead at the housing." I actually do agree. I feel like since we've seen that character, though, if they were going to spoil anything at all to give an example, I think that's how they should have done it, though. Like,
well,
I would have been more
right?
disappointed if they showed a new character and said, "Here's a new character, and here's what can happen." I'm like, don't do that.
Well, and if they're saying this is just, and that's the thing, right? It's an example. It's one option. Like, and if that option is that crazy and that reactive with the world, imagine how many other scenarios just like that they're gonna have in the full game. Like, and that we don't know about yet. Like, it's gonna be crazy. So
100%. Jinjuro, Ion Storm remembers the quest that I'm talking about. He's about to 100% Assassin's Creed Shadows. He's a massive Assassin's Creed fan. I can't wait. I'm trying to just beat the main story for Shadows, but Alien Squid says, I'm worried about Fable being open world is not enough. Where are the new revolutionary features that Fable is known for? Well, we did talk about those in the beginning of the game. They're all included. All of them are there, minus the transforming into an angel or a demon aesthetically. All those features seem to be returning, Alien Squid, in a big, meaningful way, which is why it was so surprising to see things like landlords and romance and kids and whatever, and reputation and the way that people view you. All those things are returning. So if you might have missed that in the beginning of us covering that, but Fuzzy Tomato says, I always live with the consequences if it's my first playthrough. DeMarco says the same thing. That's what he was talking about. Live with the consequence of Rex being the main example. Fuzzy Tomato says the world building was the best in Mass Effect 1. That's why Mass Effect does the best. Yeah, it's so good. I might agree with you, man. Mass Effect 1 might be my favorite. Like,
yeah,
I think
it's
Mass
that
Effect
it's
2,
that setup and the world building, and then also I think the moment, strangely enough, that like gets me the most emotional is when you go to Ilos and you meet the Virgil, the Prothean VI, who's like left behind there, and it plays that
Vigil?
really sad Vigil, yes, yeah, and it plays the really sad music from the main menu, and you're realizing like, wow, there's like this entire civilization that's just, we're standing you're standing among the ghosts of the past.
Yep.
And it's just and then the setup of like finding out what the Reapers actually are.
That's what I was gonna bring up, dude. Like with Harbinger. Oh my god.
And understanding the scale, both physically and like metaphorically, of what you're dealing with here. This sort of like unknowable, Lovecraftian cosmic horror. Yeah, I could go on and on, which is why you and I are going to end up doing that collab video I told you about at some point. We have to go on this long tirade about it. But anyway, I don't want to trail off.
Yeah. So tell me why Ubisoft sucks.
Where do I even start with this? So, in case anyone here has been living under a rock, which all of you guys are super smart, and I don't think any of you are living under rocks. I think you're all living in very comfortable, warm houses during this bleak winter season, and I hope all of you have hit the like button and considered subscribing to this fine gentleman right over there. He's sitting right next to me. Right next to me. They just canceled a ton of games, like 6 or 7 games. They laid off a bunch of people, and among those games that were canceled or delayed or pushed around or whatever, we were expecting a Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake, and the prevailing rumor was that that game was going to shadow drop like this month, and they canned it. It's like,
garbage.
How, right? And I don't like, if the game was finished and ready to go, why cancel it? It's baffling to me, honestly. And then on top of that, there was the other prevailing rumor, which is that we were going to get that remake of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag this year. And that was apparently going to come out sometime in March. And that has been delayed to 2027 by like a full year. That's the one that pisses me off the most. I'm like, dude, I was like mentally prepping myself to have that be in the list of games I was going to play this year. Like, Black Flag is my favorite Assassin's Creed game, so yeah, it just, but then on top of that, obviously, one of the biggest issues is just the loss of industry talent, because they're laying off, I forget what the exact number was, but it was definitely in the several hundreds of employees, and I think they shuttered like 2 studios. And all of this is because the Guillemot family, who have been in control of Ubisoft, with Yves Guillemot being the CEO for the better part of the last 20-30 years, have made a continuous string of very bad business decisions, but also those business decisions have influenced the trajectory that their games have gone on. Because as much as I know people like Ubisoft's games, a lot of them have followed the same formula for the past however long, you know? You borrow stuff from Assassin's Creed, you stick it in Far Cry, you put it in Watch Dogs, you know.
You put the tower scaling, that kind of stuff.
The tower scaling, the base, clearing a base of enemies, you know. It's even in the Tom Clancy stuff, Ghost Recon Wildlands, The Division, you know, all of that stuff. There's so much cross-pollination there that is not healthy for those games, because those games don't really stand apart from each other.
Right.
And they made those sort of executive decisions to design the games that way, because that would make their games the most financially lucrative. Well, now, all these years later, Ubisoft's stock price is at its lowest value ever. They have basically sold off the soul of their company to Tencent, and they're only going to focus on a handful of franchises. And so it's like they're not going to be able to, we're not going to be seeing any sort of small scale games from them in the future. We're not going to get another Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. We're not going to get another Rayman game. You know, we're not going to get those small. We're going to get Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Tom Clancy games, and we're going to get, you know,
Assassin's Creed. Like,
instead of Ion Storm said 200 people got let go from the Paris office. Yeah, that's
read Era Nation
and that's
too.
And that's one office. all Assassin's Creeds have been put on the back burner for at least a year. Yeah, so yeah, that's a good point. So it's not just the Black Flag remake. They pushed back what is it, Hex, which is like that's the one coming up that's based on the Salem Witch Trials, I think is what they're gonna do. They've pushed that one back. They pushed a whole bunch of them back. The next Far Cry probably got pushed back a ways. But it's just they've made these poor decisions, and they've watered down their games and made them so similar and so formulaic over the years that this is the final destination of where that road has led them to, where their stock is at the lowest it's ever been. They're basically worth nothing, and Tencent could buy them out right now, honestly, outright, if they really pushed hard for it. But the Guillemot family have seemingly managed to hold on to some sort of autonomy in some way. I don't know how, dude, because they are so I rarely do you see management this inept. But going back to my point I was saying earlier about them not making any more of those small games, they're going to focus on the heavy hitters, the big AAA IPs, the big name brand recognition, the most easily recognizable brands. It's a similar thing that yeah, exactly. It's nepotism. Arrow Nation kind of alluded to that.
Yeah, well said.
It's a similar thing that is happening kind of with Microsoft right now to an extent, right? Like they're focusing on the best example I can think of is like pouring a ton of resources into Fallout, because Fallout is a huge IP. It is a lucrative moneymaker for them as a publisher and as a company. So they're dumping a ton of resources into that. They're putting a ton of stuff into, you know, all of their other heavy franchises, you know, the Call of Duties and whatnot. And yeah, every once in a while you might see a small little passion project like Kiln from Double Fine kind of squeak out every once in a while. You might even see it from Ubisoft too. 4.28 euros a share, dude. That's freaking terrible. But you're not going to see it as frequently as we would have 10 or 15 years ago, you know? And that's what I think these publishers have lost over this period of time. They've lost this ability to sort of diversify their portfolio, and they have put all of their eggs in just singular baskets, you know? Activision's another great example. Activision pulled all of their studios that were working on, you know, licensed Spider-Man games, the prototype games, you know, all of that. All of them are working on Call of Duty now, exclusively. So they just put all of their eggs in one basket, and it all leads to the same destination. Like, it means financial pitfalls and layoffs and game cancellations and studio closures, and it's just this repeating, never-ending cycle. And I'm sick of it, dude. Like, these companies, they don't learn. And Ubisoft, this is just the most recent example of why Ubisoft is one of the worst companies with that. They're not learning from their mistakes. They're doing the same thing they've been doing for the past 10, 20 years, and they're expecting it to magically somehow allow them to dig themselves out of the hole that they dug themselves. It's just, yeah. It's crazy. Sorry, I went on a bit of a tirade there, but
no, it's good. You sort of like summed it all up really well. I mean, the thing is, like, every time we talk about layoffs and studio restructurings and whatnot, like, it always comes down to the very same thing every single time, which is just corporate greed, right? So if we ignore the corporate greed part, we can go to ignorance, because these people that have been in power for so many years. Like whoever the dude that I always see on thumbnails, the Ubisoft guy, the white-haired guy. I don't know if is that Yves Guillemot?
That's Yves Guillemot. He's the CEO.
Okay.
Yeah.
It always baffles me whenever I see so much of like an outcry for legacy IPs to return, and like things that would make studios millions of dollars if they would just listen to their fan base. But the corporations, the executives are not listening. They don't have their ear to the ground. They have their ear to the shareholders' mouth. like that's all they're hearing. And all we want is a Black Flag remake. I want what the fuck is that game called? The pirate game? Skull and Bones. I want that game to be good. Everyone wanted ground combat. They wanted Sea of Thieves third person. That's all they wanted. What did they do? I don't know. No. Shh.
Yeah, they focused on all of the wrong
things, right? And so every time, and then they fail, and then the fucking CEOs or executives come out and say we're restructuring things to make things more profitable. Shut the fuck up! All you're doing is ignoring what's going to be making you money, right?
Yeah, it's all corporate speech, you know. And then on top of that,
I hate it.
It's over monetization of their player base. You know, the Rainbow Six Siege players. I'm so sorry, Assassin, but you guys have been getting bled dry for years. And then putting microtransactions and battle passes and shit into Assassin's Creed, a single player franchise, like, what are you doing, guys? Come on.
Right,
it's
exactly.
But it's also a larger issue is that it's a growth problem, right? Like, the game industry is still a young industry in the grand scheme of things, and it grew, I think, a little too fast in like 20 to 30 years. And so when all of this money was pouring in, especially during the pandemic, you know, because everybody was locked at home, they had no choice but to play games to be able to entertain themselves. Investors would come in and dump all this money in, and that's why we've seen this influx of sort of like financially motivated decisions. You know, going back to something that we spoke about right at the top of the show, you know, Highguard. Is that really a game that, and this is not me questioning the capabilities of those developers at Wildlight Entertainment. I'm sure they're a super talented team. There's a lot to like about Highguard, but there's also a lot to not like about it. And it makes you wonder, like, is this a game they really wanted to make, or did they make it to sort of, like, I guess, capitalize on this existing genre, and like, did they decide to go the safe route instead of taking this huge risk like Sandfall with Claire Obscure, you know, brand new studio, barely over 30 people, indie team, less than a $10 million budget. They took this huge swing, and look at how that panned out for them. Like, gamers are starving for those kind of experiences, those unique experiences that make you understand, like, yeah, dude, video games are a freaking art form, man. You can't look at a game like Expedition 33 and tell me that isn't art. Like, and it's ironic, right? Because the game is literally all about painting and art and all of that stuff. So it's like, who actually asked for a game like Highguard? Nobody. And I'm not trying to say that to insult the developers. None of them are watching this, so they probably don't care what I have to say, but that's not meant as an insult. But what I mean is, like, it's, to your point, yes, you have to, the consumer, the gamers, the consumers, because we are the ones spending the money, right? We're spending our time, our money on these games. We're the customers. Like, you have to put
keeping you employed.
You have to put our best interest first. And going back to Ubisoft, they haven't put our best interests first and haven't had our best interests at heart for however long, you know, since I would say probably the last good era of Ubisoft was probably and I just threw out some more spit, by the way. This is how I know I'm getting like super heated. But yeah. The last good era of Ubisoft, in my opinion, was probably like 2000 through the 2010, 2012 era. I would say right around the time Assassin's Creed 3 and Far Cry 3 came out, which was 2011, 2012. That was when things started to really take a nosedive. And DeMarco, you have a great point, right? Like, Immortals of Avium was a big risk too, and that didn't pan out. But I think there were a lot of other contributing factors with that game too, right? Like, the writing was not good at all, and there's a lot of stuff there. Yeah, you're just being contrarian. I got you. No, but you do have a point though, right? It's like, it's sometimes you take the big swing and sometimes it doesn't work out, right? And that's the nature of the gaming industry. The games industry is not meant to be a place where you're just constantly playing it safe, because otherwise You get those Ubisoft games, you get those Assassin's Creeds and Far Cry's that come out every year or every other year, and they feel exactly the same as the one you played the year before. You could say the same thing about Call of Duty and the sports games, Madden, NBA, whatever, FIFA. It's like it is not. This is not an industry that is meant to be this overly monetized and so much of a focus on the financial aspect, but it's partially because it just grew too quickly. We had so many new studios popping up
100%.
And they ballooned an employee count. And when you're paying those game developers, you know, upwards of $70K to $100K annually, you know, and it's just there's a heavy financial aspect of it that I don't want to get too deep into it because that's an entirely separate conversation, but yeah, Ubisoft just made this string of decisions that led them to this point where now they're laying off more people, they're canceling games. And I read a story that Insider Gaming posted where internally in their like Microsoft Teams chats or whatever, the employees were going at the management openly within Ubisoft, like within their internal chat apps or whatever. They were scorching them openly. And it's one of the few times where I do hope that Ubisoft manages to actually have like a large, it's one of the only times where I'm actually hoping and wishing for an exodus from Ubisoft, where they just have this mass exodus of employees that is like, look, we're unionized, but even being in a union is not going to protect us. This company doesn't have our best interest at heart. We need to go off and do our own thing. Again, Sandfall is a great example. Former Ubisoft devs, look at what they went off and did on their own. Like there needs to be more people that just get out from under the thumb of these major publishers. And Ubisoft aren't the only ones guilty of that, right? You've got people like 2K that are just as bad. EA, you know, that's about to potentially get bought out by the Saudi Arabian government unless the FTC has something to say about it. And then, you know, you have Microsoft too. Microsoft bought out all these studios and they shut them down. The one of the ones closest to my heart, obviously, you know, that really hurt. But it's, yeah, I don't know what it's going to take for all of it to change, but the fact that they're pushing back their whole lineup of games and they're just basically delaying the inevitable, it's exhausting.
I think it's really, so there's two sides. Like we have studios that took way too long to reproduce something of value where they're wasting tons of money, right? Like everyone was really upset about the Perfect Dark reboot, you know, right? Like Perfect Dark was going to make a comeback through Microsoft.
Yeah.
That company was working on the game for way too fucking long, and like and wasting tons and tons of money. Like, and everyone was really excited about it, but they were like, "We've had enough. You're not doing anything with this." And so you can apply that same logic to the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. We saw that game like 2 years ago, and even then, I was like, "It doesn't really look great. It looks nostalgic, but like," and then they're like, "We're gonna delay it because we heard your feedback." And then here we are, like 3 years later or something after seeing that reveal, and they're like, "We're gonna cancel it." And I try to be like objective with these, or I try to be fair with these, like layoffs and cancellations and stuff, because we don't really see a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. But whenever it comes to like new projects that don't make any sense, like it's not like Highguard is a bad game, guys. That's not what I'm saying. But like games like that already exist, and to compete with those, yes, you have to do something different. But you can't like have this convoluted structure within your within the structure of the game to begin with. If you're gonna try to stand out, all you're doing is just muddling what you're trying to convey as a new fresh idea to begin with.
Yeah.
So
there's still so many
Ubisoft,
studios are still chasing that live service, the golden goose egg. So many studios are still chasing that, because if you get that one game that manages to pop off like a Fortnite or a Roblox or whatever, you're set. You know, so it's like these studios will take as many risks as they have to get that one thing, but they just don't understand that it's like all of that will add up. All of the budget money you dump into that will add up. And Aero Nation makes a good point too. It's like they just balloon the budgets of these games. How much do we think the budget was for a game like Highguard? Like it had to have been well over $100 million,
like a $200 million. Yeah. I'm thinking like 200 million or something.
You know,
like that.
and so and again, I hate to keep bringing it up, but I'm gonna bring it up. So you're gonna sit down and you're gonna listen. Expedition 33. Yes. It like $10 million.
What the?
Are you
fuck,
kidding
dude?
me?
Insane.
Are you kidding?
Insane. Right.
You
right.
know, and so
it was so successful because by the way, their success was all these other games' failures. Think about that. Their success, their bar of success was everyone else's failure, right? So then, like, look at since we're talking about Ubisoft, we can bring up Skull and Bones again. If you think about, everyone was like, I'm so excited for the Assassin's Creed multiplayer game. They're like, nope, we're not going to do that. We're going to do our own thing.
And how long was it in development? How
for
much
like
did
9
those costs
fucking
balloon?
years?
And
exactly.
And then like a month or two after launch, it's on sale for like $9, I think.
Yeah, and no one
like,
gives
dude,
a shit.
It's sad. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So and also the lower you keep your budgets, you know, the greater the opportunity you have for generating a profit. You know, again, I can't even begin to imagine the amount of profit that Sandfall generated from Clair Obscur, from keeping the budget that low and also keeping the price point low. The game was what, like $40-$50? It was like nowadays that's like a budget priced title. So you know, it's like you have a greater opportunity for making money if you keep your costs low. And these companies have just gotten so bloated. I know you and I and Jonas and DeMarco, the three of you guys more than me, even though I still pay attention to these conversations. We go back and forth all the time about how bloated Bethesda Game Studios has gotten. They're just as guilty of it. As much as I know you love Starfield, I do think it would benefit them if they shrunk considerably. But then it's like, okay, if they shrink, they're not going to be able to make the sort of Elder Scrolls games and Fallout games that Todd and the rest of the management wants to make, which is like, they want it to be bigger. And bigger must mean better, right? You know, and it's like so it's kind of like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of situation.
And nowadays, this is the sad part about that. To your point, nowadays, the risk is going back to what people loved, right? Like, imagine if Bethesda said, we're taking a big risk here, guys.
It's because there's that huge gap. It's no matter what, it's never going to live up to their expectations.
But Todd Howard comes out and says to the shareholders, we're taking a risk here. We're going to make the next Elder Scrolls just everything that people loved about Skyrim. We're going to do that. And the shareholders go, but what about monetization? What about the live service? What about this? What about that? And it's like, dude, this is the kind of shit that we don't see behind the scenes. And that's the thing. I guarantee you that here's the thing. As someone who, I have so much respect. I have never engaged with so many modders, like DMing them and emailing them and talking to them through apps like Coffee or I can't think of the other. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like talking to modders specifically, thanking them for their work, making suggestions, asking them to make achievement-friendly versions. How much time and effort that they put into this, I can't imagine that Ubisoft and other companies are looking at ways to monetize through cheaper applications through community-driven content, right? Like now, Ubisoft doesn't have like any sort of like creation platform, but if we're talking about Bethesda, they are 100% leaning into the Atomic Shop and creations and whatnot, and other companies are seeing that as well. Like, let the community fix your game, right? Like that's what we've seen for years and years and years, right? Like even like Fallout 4, everyone was so pissed off about that.
There is unfortunately a lot of truth to that. As much as it pains me to admit it, it's like, yeah, dude. They put their game out. It's got a ton of bugs. They know their community is going to fix it. Why should we put in the effort?
Exactly.
And you know, to DeMarco's point, I 100% agree. My hot take, if they literally just did like legit Skyrim 2, I would be happy if that was what Elder Scrolls 6 was.
Right.
Like, if they simplified it and literally, let's just do Skyrim again. Just different setting, better combat, better exploration, handcrafted. Like, if they just did that again, I would be happy. 100%, I would. And I agree with him. I feel like simplify your mechanics. Cut down on some of that stuff. There's only one issue with that. Todd and the executive leadership of every department over there at Bethesda, art, level design, quest design, etc. You know, people, I think of people like Emil Pagliarulo, who I am absolutely not fond of that guy. But those people, they don't want to simplify it. They want to go bigger. They want to explore, you know, that's basically the whole reason Starfield even exists, right? Todd wanted to do something different. He wanted to explore new territory in their game design with that. Whether it panned out or not, that's kind of up to the individual person. For you, it worked out. For other people, it didn't work out quite as well. And so there's no way that they're going to be able to simplify that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, DeMarco, I know simplify is not the best term, but that's just kind of, I can't quite articulate it half as well. And then yeah, Emil doesn't write like a bunch of the stuff, but he does, you know, he had that infamous sort of keynote speech where he talked about like, oh, we're going to write the great American novel and people aren't going to read it because they're going to be too busy ripping out the pages and making paper airplanes. That says a lot.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I'm sorry, but that says a lot to me about where his mindset is at when developing content. It's like, that tells me it's like you don't respect your player base enough to write engaging content or even create content that you know a huge chunk of your player base is going to miss out on. This is what I love about, or rather what I loved. I still love it to an extent, but they don't do it as much as they used to. But this is part of the reason why I fell in love with Arcane Studios. In Dishonored 2, sorry, I know I'm just derailing the conversation here.
Do it, bro. You gotta make your comparison.
In Dishonored 2, you have an entire level that you can just skip. If you complete this puzzle at the beginning of the level, you can skip this entire chunk of the game that they worked incredibly hard to design
and you'll never see it.
You can skip it and you'll never see it. It's like, we don't have enough studios who are doing that, and again, I understand why, right? It's because there's risk involved with that. You have to design all of the content so that 99% of your player base interacts with it, as opposed to only 9% of your player base interacts with it. And I get it. It just it's frustrating that Bethesda doesn't seem to sort of understand that, like, because that creates the water cooler conversations. Hey, did you see this quest? No, I had no idea that even existed. What? Like,
exactly.
You know, you have that different stuff that everybody experiences a little bit differently from the next person over, and it's and I don't know if they're going to get back to that. The optimist in me would love to believe that they will hopefully get back to something like that with Elder Scrolls and with Fallout 5, whatever, but yeah, it's anyway. I'm going off on a tirade there. It's just
No, it's okay.
The games industry is in a pickle right now. So let's talk about Judas for another hour. Yeah, Judas is one that I'm very excited. I'm very excited about Judas. I think that one could be, if what I read, because they put out some new information on it today, and I mean, honestly, I was reading it. I'm like, dude, I'm already sold. I can only get so erect. You don't need to sell me anymore on this game, bro. It's a day one buy. I can only
replace so many pairs of underwear.
Exactly.
Ion Storm says that rotating mansion, what a level. The rotating mansion was wild. That was one that they advertised. I remember seeing that in the
finally someone with good taste.
There you go. Ion has great taste. He plays all the shit that we love. It's fantastic. DeMarco says Emil's point is fair. The way he communicated it is wrong. The paper airplane should be the way Ken spoke about Judas today. Ken Levine.
Yeah.
Making tons of outcomes.
And that's the thing, right?
And
that's what's also equally frustrating about it. I know he's not wrong, and I hate him even more for that.
Right, exactly. Aeronation brings up Far Cry 4. That's a great point.
Yeah. you know there's going to be that portion of people that they only focus on the settlement building. They don't give a shit about the main quest. Like, they just want to build houses and just do that thing. And it's like, and that's what, again, it's like a no-win scenario basically that they're kind of caught in right now. It's yeah. Anyway, so
it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Look, we could go on and on about this forever and always, but we can't. We've actually gone overtime. It's wonderful.
Yes, we have.
Excuse me. I just burped right into the mic. I love it. I didn't. Oh yeah, I didn't miss anything. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Boom. I guess we could just end it by saying that whatever restructuring that they're doing, I hope the thing is we're not going to see the fruits of those labors for another 4 years or whatever.
Definitely not this year. Not this year. And the Black Flag remake is going to come out in 2027. I want that to be good. It's my favorite Assassin's Creed game.
I'm so excited for that,
good. You know, so
excited for that. Yeah. And
you didn't go over Judas. What about the fact that Hasbro is suing its CEO? That's a story. We don't have time. We don't have got time
for that. I'll make a video that no one will watch.
Right?
Yeah. Well, look, dude, you know how it is, man. It's like you do one. I feel like every podcast I do, I bitch about YouTube, but it doesn't matter because I'm here with you guys, and you guys are awesome. You guys are literally the only reason that we make YouTube content is to hang out and hear you guys' thoughts, because the outlet of gaming is very solitary. Like, we're in our own bubble talking about our single player games and our experiences, and we don't really get to interact with too many people to share our adventures with other people and nerd out with other people. So we rely on the community.
Just wants us to keep rambling here.
so much to go over. Terraria released. Dude, I knew that
Silent Hill movie that came out. It was shit.
I'm sorry, but I was following that Silent Hill movie for a long time, and I just like. It's not like I knew that it was gonna do bad, but like that poor guy, man, he waited, it was like 3 or 4 years to get funding for the movie, and then he finally did it.
I didn't know that, actually. Wow.
I mean, he struggled so much. I mean, and it's not like I never thought the game was bad, but it was that the movie trailer looked bad, but that it just felt sort of out of place and at like the wrong time. I don't know, like it, and I say that as like Silent Hill 2 is blowing up and it just released on Xbox, and
I still need to play that, by the way. I think I'm gonna wait for the remake of the original one that Bloober Team is doing, though. I'll wait on that.
Well, wait, what do you mean? Silent Hill, dude, it's out.
No, I know they're doing a remake of Silent Hill 1.
Oh,
and
1.
So I think it would behoove
2.
me if it would behoove me if I waited for them to release the remake of the first one, then I'll jump into the second one. My more immediate game that I want to play from them is Chronos: The New Dawn. That's one that I heard was really good and I was really excited about, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
I'm going to put a poll in chat because I've been thinking about this a lot. I actually started. Shout out to BT Maverick, who gifted me Silent Hill 2 on Steam.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I was streaming and I was having such a good time, and I feel like I wasn't doing a great job at streaming because I was like, I have to get up and pee 500 times, and I was trying to engage with the audience. But what was really fun about it is I actually had like a log of my time to like rewatch. Like if I ever wanted to come back, like at the very least I can do these streams to like come back like 5 years later and like enjoy watching this like the reaction to me, a 5-year younger me or whatever. And so like I think I did two or three streams with Silent Hill, and they were like a few weeks apart. And so to prepare for the next stream, I would watch the previous stream to catch up where I was, and it was so fun. Like I don't know, it was so fun. Like I don't know if you guys. You
should do it. You really should do it more often, dude. Like that. I didn't want to watch a lot of it because I wanted to avoid spoilers.
Right.
But I mean, it's the little bit of it I caught. Yeah, it's all right, DeMarco. They're out and about right now at the shopping mall. They're gonna come back in about another 10-15 minutes. But yeah, we will probably want to wrap it up. But yeah, no. You speaking purely from myself, like you should definitely do some more of those live streams. You can't just limit it to the podcast, man. It's as fun as the podcast is. I think it'd be really fun if you had another outlet that you could kind of never mind another hour. Fuck off.
Yeah. Here, I'll just put it up there that way on our outro, because I've been thinking about it a lot. Like I haven't actually. Again, all of these ports, Silent Hill, Final Fantasy VII doesn't seem to have a physical edition. But then again, Oblivion Remastered didn't have one, but then it eventually did. Death Stranding doesn't. Silent Hill doesn't. Final Fantasy 16 doesn't. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, I already own it on Steam thanks to BT Maverick. Should I just continue playing it there or not? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just something for the memories, because once you're done with a game, you're done with it. Like, who the fuck cares how you played it? I'm trying to get out of that mindset. Like, I just wish companies would tell me, no, we are not making a physical version. Shut up and buy it, or don't. Like, I wish that they would just say that.
I think the best thing that you can do, my friend, honestly, is until they actually say something, just assume that there's never going to be a physical for it.
I know.
Until they publicly come out and say it. You just always have to assume that there's never going to be a physical.
I know.
Physical
exactly.
copy. So
yeah.
But anyway.
But anyway, look, your description is in the link below. I said that completely backwards. The link for your channel and YouTube and Twitter and everything is in the description below. And everyone should go check you out.
Come check me out over there. I do have more videos on the way. The next one I'm working on, hopefully it doesn't bomb like the last two that I put out. So if any of you are interested in Bethesda content, because my next video is actually, slight spoiler, it's going to be on another upcoming Bethesda game that I'm really excited to talk about.
Starfield!
So
let's go!
No.
Okay.
But yeah, there's going to be some more like Bethesda focused content going forward, and so if you guys want to see that, and also if you're looking for coverage on Arcane Studios, I do have some more Arcane videos coming up. And then obviously the closer we get to the Blade Glaive, sorry, excuse me, I misspoke.
Blade Glaive.
The closer we get to the Blade Glaive coming out, you're gonna expect to see a shitload of videos about Blade. The closer we get to that game coming out. So if you guys are wanting to check that out, and if you want to support me, come over to my channel, subscribe, watch my content. I'm also on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at the Arcane Realm, and you can follow me there for occasional hot takes and occasional opinions about gaming stuff.
Absolutely fantastic. Please go check him out. The link is in the description below. The Twitter, the YouTube, it's all there for all of you guys to enjoy, to click, to switch, to clap, to flap, all of the words that you can make up like I just did. Please go check him out. You've been pumping out so much content, dude. I mean, I've loved all of your videos. You and DeMarco both had like two really long videos. You did the Bethesda video, and I did the same thing with DeMarco's video.
I was so proud of that too, and
I loved it, man.
Bombed, man.
Welcome to YouTube, man.
Did horribly, and I was so proud of it.
Yeah,
and
bro.
But that's the game we play, right? So, but no, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. It feels, I feel very sort of creatively reinvigorated. Like I feel like I've got the spark back, because I'm constantly, even when I'm at work, every single day, I'm like, ooh, this would be something cool to talk about, or this would be cool to talk about, and I just want to be able to talk about games more and talk about how excited I am for games either that I've played or games that are coming out. Like I want to talk to everybody more about how I'm feeling about these things. So if anybody gives a shit about my opinion, you know, come and watch my stuff, I guess.
They're saying that your link is broken. Let me just share it in chat. I'm gonna try this. Like I usually can't. This doesn't really work, but I'll try to just do it. Boom. That should work. There you go. Yeah. There's the link in the description. I will pin this. So go ahead and do that. and looks like everyone wants me to stream Silent Hill, so I will definitely do that if you guys really want to do that. But let me end this poll so you can see. Please go check out Arcane Realm. Go subscribe to him. Yeah, your Bethesda video was so great. I listened to it as I was working, and then I went back and like actually watched it, and I did the same thing with DeMarco's video on Crimson Desert, because that was another like 20-minute long video just like yours. And I was like, how much time do you guys have? It's crazy. Like I don't know about you, whenever I put out YouTube videos, I'm like desperate. Like my Fallout or my Fable video was like so heartbreaking because I worked until like around 11 o'clock at night to get that out because I'm like, I have to get it out.
I really enjoyed it.
It was so rushed.
But even then, I know this is like DeMarco calls it a vanity metric, but I don't give a shit. It's like I actually care about this stuff. I would kill to have just like the minimum amount of views on my videos just be like 1.7K. I would kill for those kinds of numbers.
And that's what I say, dude.
Like,
and whenever you said that on Twitter, I was like, I need to get my shit in check because I'm starting to do that thing where, like, as the channel grows, I'm like, I'm complaining about 1,000 views. When before, I had a message. Shout out to Assassin. I had a message from Assassin. This is all behind the scenes stuff. Where this is 3 years ago. He sent me a screenshot on Xbox Live had how we had just hit 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers after just doing the podcast, and I was so emotional. I was like so happy, so excited, and here I am complaining about get shit in perspective. But it's all because of you guys in chat that we are here doing this kind of stuff, because it's all about community. It's not about views and all that kind of stuff. It's about us being proud of our growth, and whenever it stops, it is discouraging, but it doesn't mean we're gonna stop. But it is because of you guys that are all here.
There's peaks and valleys, you know, and yeah, absolutely. My favorite thing that always just makes me so happy is seeing my regular people in the comment section on my videos, like you, DeMarco, Assassin, you know, but also the people who follow me for the Arcane focus stuff and the Bethesda stuff. You know, I see the same names in every video, and it just makes me.
That's the best.
It's the best feeling.
It's motivating.
Man. Yeah, so it is. It's motivating.
Yeah.
It makes you want to keep going, because when you start out, especially as small channels as we are, you don't know if you're going to manage to find any sort of audience that gives any sort of shit about what you have to say. And miraculously, I found an audience that somehow gives a shit about my opinions, just like you did. So, and again, to reiterate what you said up at the top of the podcast, you have one of the best communities on YouTube, and it's always such a pleasure to be a part of this podcast and to get to interact with you guys. So, and yes, I am best friends with the Dinga Bakaba. I got him. You know, Assassin. This is the last thing I'll say, but Assassin pointed this out to me, which I thought was like really funny, but also kind of weird. It's like, when he responded to me back in December, and I was like, my one Christmas wish, I'm just a wee make-a-wish child, my one Christmas wish is that you give me literally any piece of news about the Blade game. I'm starving over here. And he's like, just be very patient. We are working on the game. You know, that's my shitty French accent.
I love that. Please continue.
And then his tweet became headline news, bro. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
it took so long.
Yeah. And Insider Gaming was like, a Bethesda and Arcade Studios focused content creator sent Dinga Bakaba a tweet on X, and I'm like, oh my fucking
didn't even tag you, didn't give you any credit.
I didn't care about. I didn't care if they tagged me. I was just like, this was just a harmless interaction, and then everybody turned it into mainstream news, and like, especially, you know, some of the Xbox focused channels were talking about this. Is like, I love Dinga, but it was like a nothing burger quote, you know. He was just saying, right, you know, it's like, just be patient, the game's gonna be ready when it's ready. And anyway, sorry, I need to shut up now. I've taken up too much time. So
nah, it's fine. Look, we are all so grateful to have each and every one of you here. Shout out to BT Maverick, member for 5 months. Yes, says play however you want. I scrounge up all the nickels out of my couch and ate top ramen for weeks to save up money for the game. But PC is the best way to play, yes. And all of the PC players would totally agree with you. It is the best way to save money because it has the best deals. Thank you so much, BT Maverick, for all your support. Shout out to everyone for all the support. Excuse me, it's been incredible. You've gained 2 subscribers, Arcane.
I know. I saw. Apparently, there's some sort of issue going on. People aren't getting notified about new videos. So I guess just click the bell button and to like turn off notifications and then turn it back on. I guess I don't know how to fix that, but thank you guys. I appreciate it. It helps. Also. Yeah, seriously. I have actually. I don't know how many people have really spoken about this publicly, but like hyping. Based on what I have seen from my analytics page, really does seem to actually make a difference. So please, whether it's me or whether it's Red Wolf or DeMarco or whoever, your favorite content creators, you should be hyping their videos, but especially the smaller creators like us. It actually really does make a huge difference.
It does. It absolutely does. Every single new thing that YouTube throws at us, if they're giving us tools to help us, what the fuck? We're at their behest. We're beholden to their behest, to their beheading. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's wonderful. But yeah, Arcane bro, thank you so much for being on and taking time literally out of your life to make this happen. You have your entire family locked in a basement, ready for them to be let out after this show.
No, but they're gonna be actually. Let me GPS them real quick and see where they're at right now. But no, absolutely. I mean, it's always a pleasure, dude. I love you, man. I love this community. I love the Renegade Realm crew that we have, and it's awesome.
It's awesome. It's fantastic. Thank you all so much for the support. Shout out to Game Seeker, BT Maverick for being a channel member, all the other channel members, Lotus Esprit, and Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat for all of the support tonight. That was absolutely incredible. You guys don't have to do that, but it's humbling. I say it every single week. It's truly, honestly humbling, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Hopefully we have some good Bethesda news next week. I have some videos in the works, and so does Arcane. Did you want to tease what you got coming up, or I think you kind of did.
Yes, so it's going to be a Bethesda game that it was in the news recently, and it may or may not involve. How do I say this delicately? It may or may not involve shooting and guns and whatnot. And it's a upcoming Bethesda game that was recently in the news.
That makes sense.
That is. Yes, Elder Scrolls. You heard it here first, guys.
Nailed it.
Sorry, we had to ruin it for.
Sorry to spoil it.
Redfall 2. Yeah, DeMarco nailed it.
Redfall
2. It is my absolute pleasure to give you this exclusive world premiere. Roll the trailer.
Oh my God, Jeff! I didn't realize you've been on my show this whole time. Oh my God, you look just like my friend Arcane Realm. Here, let me remove your name. Let me type it. No, it's gonna take too much time. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. Please hit the like button on your way out, and we will see you guys next time. Goodbye, everyone.
So long, guys.